What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NFL DFS video. We are breaking down the Monday Night Football showdown between the Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if you've never been here before, hopefully you are in for a treat. So we're going to go through the game. We're going to look at the Vegas odds. On top of that, we are going to look at the statistics, the showdown statistics from 2023 till now to give you guys an idea of captain percentages, stack percentages. On top of that, we're going to look at our matchup tool. So we're going to go through stats from this year on what positions are best against the defense from either the Chiefs or the Jaguars. And then we're going to build you some lineups. Now, these are tournament lineups. These are not cash lineups. And these are starting points. But hopefully we're able to help you bring home some bacon. So let's just look at the Vegas odds real quick. This game opened up with a 47.5 over under and a Kansas City Chiefs minus 4.5 point play on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it opened. But right now, it's gone down to 45.5 over under, and the Chiefs are now only a 3.5 point favorite. So kind of pay attention to that and then watch the Vegas odds throughout the day on Monday to see if it's going to change a little bit, just to kind of get a feel with Vegas, what they're going to do or what they think is going to happen. So that being said, I want to look at the matchup tool real quick. Now, this is how you read the matchup tool. This is on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, NFL tab. And then you come down here to matchup tool, and you can find this tool. Now, we have a ton of information for you that we're going to go over, but we also have FTA Plus. $10 a week, $30 a month, $200 a year, $500 a lifetime pass. But if you go watch our main slate video, if you didn't already watch it this weekend, there's a way to get in for a savings on a lifetime pass. So that being said, here's how we read it. Against the quarterbacks, Jacksonville Jaguars defense ranks 13th in the red zone. They've given up 984 yards, 7 touchdowns, but they have 9 interceptions this year. Their defense has been pretty damn good. But they've given up 1 300-plus passing yard game. They haven't given much on the ground, 76 yards and 1 touchdown, but they rank 23rd overall against the quarterback, giving up an average of 18.7. And then Kansas City, 778 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1 300-plus passing yard game, 125 yards on the ground. So, interesting. Both of these quarterbacks in this game are mobile. 1 touchdown there, but they rank 11th out of 32, giving up an average of 16.2. Now we look at the running backs. Jags are very good against the run. Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, who are they going to give it to? It's not always the best option here for run. And Jacksonville is very good against the run through first 4 weeks, ranked 4th in the red zone. They've only given up 255 yards on the ground, no touchdowns, no 100-plus yard game. 189 yards through the air, though, and 2 passing touchdowns running backs. They rank 8th, though, out of 32, only giving up an average of 19.1. But then Kansas City defense, 23rd ranked, give up 378 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 149 yards through the air to running backs, 1 touchdown. They rank 22nd out of 32, giving up an average of 24.2. Move to the wide receiver. Jacksonville, 596 yards, 2 wide receivers, 4 touchdowns, 2 100-plus yard games, which is interesting here. No rushing yards at all yet to a wide receiver, but they rank 23rd out of 32, giving up an average of 35.9. And then the Chiefs, 497 yards, 3 touchdowns, no 100-yard games, 3 yards rushing. They rank 9th out of 32, giving up an average of 28.5. So we're going off DraftKings. We're building stuff off DraftKings. But FanDuel this year they're pretty much the same as DraftKings now. You've got 6 spots, 1 MVP, 1 captain, 1.5 times the points. The only difference, FanDuel has $10,000 more to work with. So Kansas City's been pretty good against wide receiver. Then we get to tight end. Jacksonville, 14th ranked, 11.2 fantasy points, 199 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce's it's been a couple years since we've seen dominance out of him, but apparently he's got that redwood on him. So we'll see if he brings that to the table here and lays it down. Kansas City, they rank number 1 in the red zone against the tight end. 132 total yards, no touchdowns, 2 rushing attempts. They rank 4th out of 32, giving up an average of 7.1. So in this one, on paper, Jacksonville's tight ends are not in a good matchup here. Wide receivers, Kansas City's wide receivers are in a good spot here. Against the running back, Jacksonville's run is better. And then against the quarterback, technically, Pat Mahomes has a better matchup than Trevor Lawrence in this game. So let's look at the statistics real quick. We've got 81% of the winning lineups in this since 2023 have contained at least one quarterback. Only 5% of them have used the entire $50,000 salary on DraftKings or the entire $60,000 on FanDuel, so do not feel you need to use all of it. Only 13% of the winning lineups had a $200 player or less on DraftKings in the flex. So if we look at that, as of right now, there's nothing that I like in the 200 range. But again, Monday comes and there's some injuries, someone's sick, we'll see. That's where we could see some players down that low that make a little bit of sense. 80% of the winning lineups, though, did have a $4,000 player or less. So we're looking right around the Jags defense. Washington down. I don't know how. Noah Gray is interesting to me. Tootin is interesting to me, but I don't know if he'll be in there. De'Ami Brown is interesting, but he's got that questionable tag probably up until game time, unless he's already been ruled out, depending on when you watch this video. And then the average winning lineup salary used, $47,500. So do not feel you need to use all $50,000 or $60,000. So take that and put it about 48 or 58.5 or 57.5 for FanDuel of it. So stack percentages is where we're looking at. 4-2 stack is taking it down 45% of the time. Now, this being a close game, Vegas odds right now, 3.5 point spread, interesting on both sides. I don't see a clear winner right now. The Chiefs looked very terrible to start the season. They had a very good game last week. We'll see what happens. 35% of the time, a 3-3 stack is taking it down. And then only 20% of the time, a 5-1 stack took it down. I don't see this game being a 5-1 stack taking it down. I could be wrong, but looking over it, looking at the game script, looking at everything, previous matchups, I don't know about this. And then captain percentage. Now, both quarterbacks can run a little bit. They're a little bit mobile, so this doesn't take into effect like mobile quarterbacks, because overall, the NFL does not have a ton of mobile quarterbacks. So 37% of the time, a wide receiver was in the winning lineup as the captain or MVP. 29% of the time, it's been a running back, so Jacksonville has a good spot here. They just can't trust Kansas City running backs too much. Quarterbacks, 19% of the time, I think both quarterbacks are in play for your captain spot here. Tight ends, 8% of the time. If it were to be one, it's going to be Noah Gray or Travis Kelce, or maybe a one-off of Noah Gray if you make multiple lineups. 5% of the time, it's been a defense, which I think both defenses are in play here. I think Jacksonville I like a little bit more. And then the kicker has only been in the winning lineup as the captain 3% of the time. So you don't see a ton there, but they are there. There's some stats and some things to go with there. So we have a couple of ways to get into NFL content with us. We have Fanatics, DraftKings, and Sportsbook links here. If you sign up using our link and you deposit $20 and you're a new customer to any of these books, we're going to give you a 1 month of FTA Plus for every book you sign up for. Deposit $20 and send us proof dfshelp1@gmail.com that you signed up there. We also have a DraftKings Football League. So if you want to get in a DraftKings Football League, it's $5 a week to enter. Top 3 places pay every single week. At the end of the year, the top 3 overall points accumulated. First place will win a free $500 lifetime pass. Second place, a $200 yearly pass. And then third place will win a $30 monthly pass. So that being said, we do have some rain concern, but usually when I look at rain, and if I ever try to take into effect weather for NFL, it always screws me over and I always lose money because it doesn't factor into it whatsoever. And by the time this happens, it's Jacksonville, it's Florida, it's humid, the rain could go away, and we might be in store for a fantastic weather-related game. So let's take a look. Depending on the players you're looking at, obviously in great matchups here, Mahomes, both quarterbacks are in great matchups, wide receivers being in there. The one that's been very just nothing has been Brian Thomas. I think he was my second round pick in a couple of my leagues, and he's really done nothing this year. It's very unfortunate. You look at his splits, hasn't done anything. I mean, he's got 164 total yards, 1 touchdown. I don't like that. I don't know what's going on. His matchup here, you can see overall, it's 8th offensive rank against them. He is in a good spot here. What I think I want to do is build a few lineups for you. Now, like I said, these are tournament lineups. These are not cash lineups. We do not do cash lineups here. But let's build one with Xavier Worthy because, again, he's a little bit lower than probably what he should be. He hasn't played much at all this year because he got that injury in week 1. Last week, 17.1, 83 yards. Rushing attempts are there. Touchdowns are not there, but they're coming. And if, like we said, if we look at the wide receiver, Jacksonville gives up an average of 35.9. I know there are so many different ways to go about this game. I think Worthy at the top is there. I think, no, I think Worthy at the top for your captain or flex. Mahomes, obviously Mahomes has to throw it to him. So that's in a spot there. I think we can get Trevor Lawrence in there. I think we can get ETN. Now we're at 3,600. We got to find the value. Where's the value going to come from? So we're at 3,600. You come down here, like Tyquan Thornton last week, the past couple of weeks, I said, let's take a look at him. He started off very good. They were giving it to him. They were up so big, then they started not to have to. But if this game stays close, I think Thornton makes sense. So I'm going to throw him in there. Now we're at 2,000 on Jacksonville. You got De'Ami Brown, if he is in there. Let's look at some news. Remain limited. Yeah, so if De'Ami Brown is out, you could go Parker Washington. Now, what's the price on Washington? 3,600. So it depends. But if De'Ami Brown is in there at this price, I'm okay with that. Now, again, I've said you don't have to use all the salary all the time. So do not feel like it is a necessity and you must do that, because it is not. But we have entered the lineup. And again, these are tournament lineups, like we've said. So enter that lineup. And we're going to build you a couple more. Now, if you want to see a full breakdown, we have a cheat sheet under the NFL tab. Come here. We got all this information. Then we got a cheat sheet. So we've got all of our favorite plays as our captain or MVP, depending on FanDuel or DraftKings. And then we've got all of our plays for flex as well. So you can go in there, you can see what we like in the position, because we're going to talk about some of it here, but we've got all of it over there, along with everything else for this game for you and for your consideration. So that being said, we've got one there. Now let's look at a Brian Thomas being a captain. We've got Brian Thomas there. We got Trevor Lawrence throwing it to him. We're at 6,300. Can we get both quarterbacks and Worthy? Now we're at 3,000. Can we get Washington? Okay. Now we're at 2,500. We come through here. You got Noah Gray. So if we look at what Noah Gray has been able to do, even with Kelsey in there, he's not been there. But I don't mind him. A lot of things have to happen at 2,400. But 2,500 is there. Tim Patrick. It is Tim Patrick. Really hasn't done anything like he did when he was with Detroit. So he's interesting. De'Ami Brown is interesting. You get both Washington and Brown. You got a 4-2 stack here. People aren't, I promise you, a lot of people are going to be on Kansas City as your 4-2 stack. But you can look at a 4-2 stack here. We've left 500 on the table. Let's go with that one and go with him. Brian Thomas. Is he him? Let's see 2024 Brian Thomas show up in this game right now. So let's go one with Trevor Lawrence as your captain. So I think a lot of people are going to be off of that, but I got to get in. I'm going to get in Brenton Strange that we haven't talked about. Doesn't have the best matchup, but if they are double teaming their wide receivers, he could be in store for a game. Let's get Mahomes in here. Let's get Kelsey, who we really haven't talked about. Let's get Brown. Now, again, a lot of this hinges on if De'Ami Brown is in this game, so it's definitely something to look at. But now we can get Brian Thomas in there. We've left 1,200 on the table. We got a 4-2 stack with Jacksonville, which is A-okay with me. And let's do one more lineup that we're looking at. Let's do a throwback to, let's go Travis Kelsey, Mahomes, Worthy. They're top 3 players on this roster right now. So we've left it there. Now I think this is going to be a 3-3 stack, so we're going to get Trevor Lawrence in there. We're going to get, I think we could get a kicker in there. And now we're at 5,000. We're able to go Juju, which, again, it depends. He had a good game week 1, good game week 4. Week 4, Xavier Worthy was back. It does not matter. He had a touchdown in that game, so he got the points there. Brenton Strange is in there. He's had double digits in 2 of the 4, but almost 3 of the 4. So Brenton Strange makes sense as well. So that being said, those are just some of the lineups we've built. If you want to see more plays on our cheat sheet, definitely go check it out. But let's look at some of the plays here. Touchdown scores, what we could look at. I think Brian Thomas comes through for us here. I don't mind him. You got Hollywood Brown is an interesting pick. We didn't really talk about him, but he is in there, a cheaper option. It just depends. What did Brown do last week? Let's see while it loads. So kind of just looking at Brown. Last week when Worthy was back, he still had double digit. So Brown had double digit. Juju had double digit. Xavier was in there. They ate. The only problem is it's the whole running backs where ETN makes sense. Double digits in every single game. He's in a great spot. So ETN, you know what? Let's do one more lineup with ETN as my captain, because we didn't do that, did we? So let's get in here, build one lineup. ETN as your captain. Mahomes, Lawrence, both in there. Brown. Okay, we've got them in there. Strange. Now we're at 8,900. Worthy, Kelsey, Brown. I mean, we haven't even talked about Travis Hunter. He's not hit double digits though. Like, he's there. I think Worthy is in there. So we've got ETN, got a 4-2 stack again. Jacksonville with the 4. So that is what we've got. If you want to check out all the other information, if there are certain things you would like to see in these videos that we have not discussed, put those down below or hit us up in our Discord, and we can try to answer them as much as possible. Let's have a great Monday Night Football. Good luck, and as always, you know what to do. Bring home some bacon. Peace!